Hello everyone, welcome to LRNR classes. Myself Priyadarshini Mangraj, and today I am going to discuss about cell, which is the chapter of biology of class ICSE 9. Okay, so first of all, what is cell? So generally we know cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. You see so many living beings in your surrounding environment. Okay, what are the living beings? Many different plants and many different animals. So all plants and animals constitute together living beings. So all living beings made up of cell. They are body parts made up of cells. If you pick some slice of their body parts or some slice of any leaf or a slice of any body part of an animal, then put it under the microscope. What you observe under the microscope? You observe that there are some box like structure. If that is the animal part, then you observe there are some irregular shape, the compartment like structure. Okay, if that is the animal cell observation. If the part is a plant part, then what you observe? There are some regular shaped compartments here are present. Okay, so that box like structure, that compartment like structures are called cells. So some group of cells constitute together forming a tissue. Okay, then group of tissue forming together body organs, then all organs constitute together our full matured body. Okay, so that's why our whole body of any living being is made up of cells. So cell is the structural unit of life. Then come to why cell is called functional unit of life. Okay, so you know in the primitive earth, the billions years ago, when the animal life starts on the earth, so first of all unicellular organisms are found. Okay, and that unicellular organisms and their body is made up of only one cell, single celled stage. Okay, so all the body functions, what are the body functions? Respiration, your digestion, okay, your movement, that is also a body function, one of the body function. Then your excretion, then your osmoregulation. These are the some of the body functions I mentioned here. So these all the body functions are maintained in one cell structure in an unicellular organism. So time by time, when cell division occurs, that single cell structure turns into two cell stage. Okay, when evolution occurs, changing by time, that single celled organisms now turns into two cell stage. Okay, some of the bacteria like Diplococcus pneumoniae, your Pseudomonas, cyanobacteria, so like these bacteria are two celled organisms. So all the body functions what I mentioned here are divided in between these two cells. Okay, so these two cells get together and maintain this all the body functions. Some of body functions maintain one cell and another remaining body functions maintained by another cell. So again next time by time when this two cell stage divided, so there are few cell stage animals are there. Okay, for example Spirogyra, your Volvox, these are the few celled animals. Okay, means their body is made up of some little amount of cells. So all these functions are divided into These cells, some of functions maintain digestion function, some of cells maintain respiration function, some of cells maintain movement function. So all these functions are distributed in these cells. Okay, so time by time these group of cells are associated with each other and maintain a same function in a coordinated manner. So that group of cells are called tissue. Okay, when some of tissue and group of tissue are associated with each other and maintain the same function with a coordinated manner, and that is called, that group of tissue is called organ. So, but the functional root is cell. But the functional root is cell. If there is no function occurs within the cell, so our body also cannot be functioned. Okay, if there is no cellular respiration occurs, if there is no cellular respiration occurs, so no energy molecules released, because due to cellular respiration ATP is released from mitochondria. So there is no cellular respiration means there is no energy molecules. If there is no energy molecules, we cannot get function. Okay, so the functional root is our cell. So that's why cell is called functional unit of life. Okay, next come to discovery of cell. Discovery of cell. So who discovered cell? Cell is discovered by Robert Hooke, who was a English scientist. So cell was discovered by Robert Hooke, who was a English scientist. Okay, so how he discovered? Now when he observed a slice of cork under the microscope. Then what he observed? Now he observed that there are small box-like structure associated with each other. Okay, there are the building blocks like structure, and he named that box as cell. So that's why Robert Hooke is called father of cytology. Okay, so when he observed the cell, when he found the cell, he invented the compound microscope, because he used two lenses in his microscope, two biconvex lenses, two having a greater magnification. He invented the compound microscope. Okay, but the simple microscope was invented by Antony van Leeuwenhoek. But before him, simple microscope was invented by Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Okay, because he used only one biconvex lens in his microscope, but to observe the cell, Robert Hooke has to use two lenses. So that's why later on his microscope developed as compound microscope. Okay, then come to what are the another characteristics of a cell. So first of all, we know cell is the structural and functional unit of life. This is the first characteristics of cell, and I already discussed about this point. It is the smallest part of body. It is the smallest part of body. Okay, because if our body is divided into many parts, then body has some organs. We get some organs. The organs are made up of tissues. The tissues are made up of some cells. And cells, if we go through the cellular structure, there are so many cellular organelles. But as a unit, it is the smallest part of body. Okay, then it has an independent existence. It has an independent existence. Why? Now it can grow itself by cell division. It can grow itself by cell division. If one cell dies, then another cell is replaced. Okay. So it has an independent existence within the cell. The nuclear material DNA can replicate itself. Okay. DNA can generate RNA. DNA can synthesize its own and can replicate itself. So due to cell division, it has an independent existence. It can grow by itself. Okay. Next, cells can die and replaced by another cell. How? Due to cell division. If cell division occurs, one cell turns into two cell turns into 4. So that's why cell can replace by another cell. So that's why our wound can be healed by due to cell division. Okay. Next, come to cell theory. So the cell theory contains the data and information about a cell. So it was first proposed by Matthias Claydon and Theodore Swan. Okay. Cell theory first proposed by Matthias Claydon and Theodore Swan. Okay. So what are the data and what are the information which is contained within the cell theory? First of all, when Matthias Claydon proposed that all the plants are made up of cell. Claydon proposed that all the plants are made up of cell. Similarly, Swan also proposed that all the animals are made up of cells. So by combining these two statements, the fundamental point is that the cell is the structural unit of life and cell is the functional unit of life. Okay. So there is another point in the cell theory that cells arise from pre-existing cells. Cells arise from pre-existing cells, and that statement proposed by Rudolf Virchow. Okay. Claydon and Swan, they first proposed the cell theory. Okay. But there is a drawback point in the cell theory. So their drawback point is they did not mention how new cells form, how new cells are formed. They did not mention about the origin of cell, how new cells are formed. So that addition point made by Rudolf Virchow stated that cells arise from pre-existing cells by cell division. Okay, so it was the addition point by Rudolf Virchow. So after the addition point, the cell theory now termed as modern cell theory. So what cell theory says to us? Now cell is the structural unit of life, cell is the functional unit of life, and all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Okay. So let's know which is the smallest cell. So next come to which is the smallest cell. Smallest cell in the earth is bacterial cell. Okay. Which is measuring about 0.325 micrometer. Okay, but in the human body, the smallest cell is RBC, that means red blood cell, which is the blood cell. Okay, and it is measuring about 7 micrometer. Okay, then next come to which is the longest cell. The longest cell in our body is neuron. You can imagine the length of a neuron from our fingertip to our spinal cord. Okay, so that length is the neuron, and it is the longest cell of the body. Next come to which is the largest cell. Largest cell is the egg of ostrich. So this is all about a fundamental data about a cell. So what we learned today? Now first of all, what is cell and what are the characteristics of cell, then who discovered cell and the cell theory, and about the smallest, longest and largest cell. If you have any doubt, please comment on your comment box. I will solve your doubts in my next video. Thank you. We will meet you in my next video.